S, the W, the A to the G. It's all about the swag, baby. All about the swag. Hey YouTube, WG Revival, and as my gangstery wizard friend has just said, we got some more swag. And this time, rather than using commercial products, rather than using treasure chests, I've gone for something a bit more magical. So we've got tomes and scrolls and potion bottles and so on. And apart from the potion bottles, which come from a Warhammer kit, it's all scratch built. And I'll show you how it's done. And they start out very, very simply. So these are metal 25mm bases that in the UK at least they are very easy to get hold of. They come as part of your change with your shopping and so on. So I'm going to take one of these 25mm bases and a little ball of milliput there and just squish it down. And that's all there is to it really. I'm not being super precise, not being super regular, and I'm not blending it in a great deal either, because I want it to stand a bit proud of the basic material at the next stage. Okay, very briefly and possibly overkill, just textured around the outside, so the ground bit. I'm probably actually going to use the same texture on the middle, on the treasure pile, but it just means I could have got a flatter, firmer surface to stick the books and scrolls to, and they won't look like they're buried in the ground, because well, certainly a scroll wouldn't be, it's just made out of paper. For the books, I started with a load of centimetre square bits of paper. I've just used the grid on my cutting mat, but not been super precise, and then glued together. They form this rough book shape. There was a bit of a strip left, so I thought I'd end up throwing a bookmark as well. So here we have 2 stacks of 10 by 10 pages all stuck together, not very neatly to look a bit book-like. The cover is still paper, it's just slightly thicker. I tried card and it because it's sort of multiple layers and stuff, it just ended up going a bit crap. So this is my compromise, slightly thicker paper, and here I've just bent it back, and this will probably not work on the camera, but I just want to bend it over that way. What I want is sort of a slight crease there to, it doesn't look very good right now, just to sort of look like the spine of a book. And obviously this is way too long, but that's sort of fine because I can just trim it off at the end, and all will be good. And then I can just sort of decorate the outside of the book. I might just put some reinforcing on the corners. I don't really want to do a great deal with it because everything else I can do with paint. There we go, some books stuck together. Just need to trim off the excess. And the scrolls are also very similar. They're just sort of strips of paper about 5 or 6mm wide, or if you live in America or the Middle Ages, a 1/4 of an inch. I've taken some nicks out of them with a knife, with a craft knife, and then just bent around a cocktail stick to curl them up, and then I'll stiffen them up with some glue as I apply them to the base. Dead easy. So there we go, everything together. So a couple of books, some scrolls, and it's all ready to glue onto the base. And I'm just going to glue it on. These I'll squish to the correct level of scrolliness, cover them in super glue to stiffen them all up, and then just texture the rest. Books, just slap them on, texture the rest. And here's everything stuck down. So joining the books and scrolls, and a couple of them there's bottles as well. These were wine bottles from the Warhammer Empire State Troops kit. You get 1 in each kit. I've got 10 of these kits, so there's a few bottles floating around. I've never really found a use for them, but I always thought they'd come in handy at some point. And they have here, so these look a bit like potion bottles buried in amongst the treasure. Potions being something that you can also pick up on your travels through Frostgrave. So it's nice to be able to represent that as well on a couple of these little bases, little tokens. As well as painting stuff treasure coloured in the centre to contrast with the earth colour on the outside. I've also got some of these, which are tiny little ball bearings, silver ball bearings, apparently intended to put on your nails. Not really my sort of thing, don't think it would suit me. Nor these, which are circular little sequins, again I think intended for nails. This was stolen from Kiblams, whose a lot of ideas I'm stealing for Frostgrave because they're very good. I say stealing, call it research, call it flattery, certainly flattery. Thanks Kiblams, I'm nicking all your good ideas. Skip forward in time quite a bit, and I've just done all the sort of major dry brushy bits. So earth around the outside, gold on the inside. Let's see if that's sort of bling enough. I'll just get the rest of the stuff painted and then take a decision about whether I want to actually add any of those scattery things, the scattery nail gubbins that I showed you previously. But yeah, we've just got some scrolls to paint scrolly colours, bottles to paint bottly colours, and books to paint, complete with gold nice bits. Quite looking forward to that bit. And we get to the final stage, the completed stuff. So I didn't manage to bend the spines around to look like spines, but I think I've done a passable version there with some paint. So I've got a nice bit of gold what's it on the spine and a bit of a line and so on, and I think it looks pretty damn good actually. I'm rather pleased with all this. Slightly weird looking thing on the one here. A lot of the super glue just sort of pulled and went a bit funny, but I thought actually that looks kind of treasury, so let's stick with that, let's leave it in and just dry brush it silver, a bit like the piles of treasure it sat on. Speaking of the piles of treasure it sat on, I did have some tiny little ball bearings and tiny little circular little glittery things to stick on, and actually I think just leaving that gloss, it kind of looks alright. It's not, I don't know, maybe it could be more bling. I'm quite happy with it. I don't know what I'm going to use that glittery stuff for. Certainly not my nails, it's not really my thing. But there we go, that's some more stuff for Frostgrave, some more completed stuff. Next lot will be figures, I expect. But thanks for watching, I'll speak to you soon.